Good evening. Welcome back to the Wrestling Bubble. This is your WWE Monday Night Raw review, and we're gonna try and keep it short. We're just gonna run through the card, and then after that, we're gonna share our thoughts on how we felt about the show. And like I said, we're gonna try and keep this video, around a 10-minute mark. So here we go. We open the show. We get John Cena. He comes out, does a promo, talks about how he's the greatest of all time. How Las Vegas, this is the last time they're going to see him. He craps on the fans, talking about basically they're cheering him, but he hasn't forgot, how they treated him all these years. John Cena, he says he wonders if anybody has any ruthless aggression, in the back. And then he ends up getting RKO'd out of nowhere by Randy Orton. So, following that segment, we get a tag team match with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra and Becky for the tag team championship. Sum it up, Liv hits Lyra with her finisher. 1, 2, 3. New tag team champs. 4-time tag team champs for Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And after the match, we see Lyra and Becky standing in the ring. Becky turns on Lyra, hits her with 4-man handle slams, tell her it's your fault. And this followed by a video recap of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 41. The screw job on Roman Reigns and CM Punk. After that, we get a backstage short little segment with the New Day arriving, and Karrion Kross is there smiling at him. And Kross kind of looks proud of his influence on the New Day. He sees they just won tag team gold, so I guess we're left to assume that because of Karrion Kross's influence on them, they're doing much better now, right? And then we get a segment of WWE letting us know about their social media views. They hit 1.1 billion views across all social media platforms. So, that's big for them. Let's see. We come back from commercial break. We get the New Day promo segment with Alpha Academy coming out to challenge the New Day, but we get a surprise return from Rusev, and he pretty much comes out and destroys the Alpha Academy. And this is followed by a backstage segment with the Judgment Day as they celebrate with Dominic Mysterio, but in walks Finn Balor, and they're all wondering if Finn's happy for Dominic or if he's salty still. And Finn looks at Dominic and he says, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So, everybody's starting to cheer again and whatnot, but then we see Finn staring at the IC title, so who knows what's going to happen with that. Alright, fast forward, we get EO coming out in the ring to cut a promo, and shortly after, Stephanie Vaquer comes out, the NXT Women's Champion. Let me see. Stephanie challenges EO after telling her how much she respects her. And Adam Pearce comes out, makes it official. They have a short match. It's interrupted when Roxanne and Julia attack EO and Stephanie Vaquer. And then Rhea shows up for the save. So after that, we get CM Punk arriving, looking kind of sad and tired. Followed by that, Jey Uso comes out to celebrate, and Sami Zayn and Jimmy eventually join them in the ring for a Yeet celebration. After that segment, we have Logan Paul talking with Kathy Kelly in the back. He says he will fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. After that segment, we have AJ Styles telling Karrion Kross to handle his own business. He's not a puppet. Dominic Mysterio defends his IC title versus Penta. And this is where we see the return of JD McDonough. And all of the Judgment Day celebrate as JD McDonough comes out to interfere in the match, causing Penta to take the loss to Dominic Mysterio for his first title defense of the Intercontinental title. And for our main event, final segment, you have Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman come out to cut a promo. And eventually CM Punk comes out. And then Roman Reigns comes out. They both are attacked by Seth Rollins. And we get the surprise of Braun Breaker showing up and attacking CM Punk and Roman Reigns, hitting both of them with spears. And we have Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker standing in the ring, standing tall over CM Punk and Roman Reigns to end the show. Now, I'll ask you, Anna, what are your thoughts on tonight's Raw?
My thoughts on tonight's Raw was actually pretty good. I enjoyed every bit of it, especially the part that the John Cena promo. Then you have the surprise fraction of Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker. I feel like with that story, with Braun Breaker being added to Seth Rollins, I'm pretty sure there's going to be another member to the thing. I'm wondering if they're going to continue the storyline to Survivor Series, War Games. And now it makes me question if CM Punk and Roman Reigns are going to partner up with each other to help take down Seth Rollins, his new faction. I also enjoyed the little bit of tease that we received from Io Sky and Stephanie Valkyrie. It's showing that when Stephanie showed up, and she's not even the main roster yet, that she's already well known around the world. So that's a good start for her. So we hopefully could be seeing her in the main roster very soon, along with Roxanne Perez and Julia. They made a surprise debut in a way by interfering with Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky's match. And they're actually on the same page, everyone. I actually like the new look that Julia is showing. It shows why she's considered calling herself the Beautiful Madness. Now she got me interested in her character. Ever since she turned heel with the new braids, the new attitude, going for that rough edge. So that I do enjoy. I honestly didn't really like the Becky Lynch and Lyra segment. I feel like Lyra needs a new character revamp than Becky. Becky's already a big star. Lyra, she's still trying to get some type of attention with the crowd. It's like, let's be honest, not everyone's meant to be a baby face. I feel like Lyra should have turned on Becky because there's a few reasons why I believe that. One, Becky left Lyra hanging with Damage Control. She had to fight them by herself for a while until, Kaden, Chance, and them came and helped for a little bit. Then she had to deal with, Liv Morgan and them before Bayley helped. So it's like you left WWE, left Lyra pretty much alone to the point she had to defend for herself because, she had people like Ivy Nile coming after her and stuff like that. So to sum it up, it's like it would have made sense for Lyra to turn heel. She's already Intercontinental Champion. So she could be turning heel saying, see, I accomplished all this without you. So what makes you think I need you now? So that would have made more sense. So let's see how this goes now that they got Becky turning heel on her.
What do you think about the John Cena segment with Randy Orton coming out?
I like that they're trying to find a way to put Randy Orton in the story. I'm actually looking forward to a match like this because it's just a repeat. I remember these two, when I was watching wrestling back then, had a really decent storyline, leading up to their matches. So it's like, to me, this is now that they're both like, Randy's bigger, John Cena's pretty much is at his last prime. So it's like, I'm looking forward into that match. Probably going to be in Backlash. Unfortunately, I don't see Randy taking that belt off of Cena.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks Orton is beating Cena for that belt. No, in no time soon. Yeah, Cena's gonna have that until like the last month of his retirement
Pretty
tour,
much.
at least.
I'm pretty sure down the road he's gonna take the belt home, and Triple H is just gonna come out with a new belt.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Thoughts on Rusev showing up?
I'm glad that Rusev had a decent pop, especially he haven't been there for multiple
5 years.
5 years. Think about that. He hasn't been at WWE. He hasn't stepped foot in WWE for 5 years. So it's like him getting that big pop and then getting the crowd into his match and everything. It was good. Hopefully they already have a storyline for him and he's just not there, coming out beating up people.
Okay. Stephanie Vaquer and Io had a match. It eventually was interrupted, but we got a little sample of what a Stephanie Vaquer would look like on the main roster, and she got cheered when she came out. So
she actually had the crowd awake. You would have thought that she already was on Raw since they first debuted in January. Stephanie Vaquer is an excellent wrestler. I actually enjoyed most of the match that before it got interrupted by Roxanne and Julia, but I'm actually looking forward to see what they're going to do because I'm pretty sure she's about to lose the belt soon to go straight to Raw, and then who knows, Julia might end up going to Raw too along with Roxanne because now that they're showing that Julia and Roxanne is pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, I see Julia, Roxanne, Stephanie Vaquer, Cora Jade even all going to Raw once they all move up from NXT, and I would say Jordynne Grace would probably end up going over to SmackDown. But anyways, I don't want to talk about NXT too much. Yeah, before I forget, we had a segment with Gunther. He comes out, he's mad because Pat McAfee and Michael Cole been talking about how he got beat by Jey Uso and he lost his world championship title. So now he's irate. He comes out, he beats down Pat McAfee after attempting to beat up Michael Cole, and McAfee gets choked out on the ground. Some bad acting from Michael Cole, talking about I think he broke my nose and whatever, and it was funny in a way. But Michael Cole says he's gonna do his job. He's not gonna be bullied. He shouldn't have to watch what he says. He's a commentator, etc., etc. So that was that. So we get Jey Uso celebrating, and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on this. I was bored, and Jay, although it's cool that he won the championship and he beat Gunther, I mean you had to have a payoff for the build up. Not the build up storyline wise, the build up of Jey Uso with his whole Yeet movement, which is basically supposed to be like the Yes movement, but he didn't really come across as like a world champion at all.
No, he's gonna have a short title reign, and I'm hoping for it because just by that segment alone, it shows that y'all don't really have a storyline for him.
Well, that, and just the whole Yeet thing, it's really stale at this point.
Yeah, because they keep doing it every Monday. Like tonight, I feel like the crowd was doing less yeeting.
Yeah, I mean, because they're wearing it out.
Yeah.
It was nice when it was organic, but then they said they pretty much got a hold of it, and they're like, okay, we're going to, yeet until the cows come home, and I believe the cows have already come home,
I feel like
I think the whole yeet thing is, just dying out at this point.
He needs to have, a storyline injury to be out for a while or something to, it's like, look at Becky. She was gone for, almost a year, pretty much. Came back. Now the crowd is, happy. Not saying that she has all her fans back, but she had enough fans that it's okay, now you're basically back on top being the man. But this whole, like I said, this whole heel turn, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the heel turn is just to push Lyra as a babyface.
We'll
it's
see.
To give her something personal. They have, because remember they were, she was mentoring her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Becky to Lyra, and I mean that's the story. Her mentor turned on her, and from there, adversity. That's why, like, when Becky was beating up Lyra never fought back.
Because she was too busy in shock.
Yeah, exactly. How could she, right?
That honestly, referring back to the Jey Uso moment, I thought Sammy was about to turn on Jey the way how he stood behind
Yeah,
him.
and that would have actually made it interesting.
Right.
All right, so moving on. Logan Paul. No, not Logan. He didn't really. I mean, he just
had a backstage.
It's like an open challenge.
Yeah,
basically.
had a backstage segment with Jackie Redmond.
It just sounds like they got nothing for him. Like that was like a backstage exclusive. So that's not even something we saw on regular TV. All right, so what about AJ or Karrion Kross?
I finally understand his character.
It seems like that he may be getting a push now. Like he deserves the beginnings of a push.
His character is actually bringing the dark side out of people. Look at the New Day. He been putting stuff in Xavier's ears for the longest, to the point now him and Kofi are both on the same page, to the point they're our new tag team champion. Now he's trying to show AJ that sometimes you have to bring out the dark side to get what you want.
Yeah.
Remember, he was also talking to Sammy for a while. So.
Yeah, curious to see where that's going. I don't really have much to say about the Dominic Mysterio match. I mean, it was just a basic. It was a basic match,
just for JD.
Just for the surprise of JD coming out. There's nothing much to say about that. I like the ending with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker teaming up. That was nice. I knew Braun had to move up.
Yes.
To main event level. He's above the Intercontinental belt and the U.S. title and all those things. He's young. It's nice that he's attached with Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman's usually involved in good stories. So there you go.
And I feel like Seth, when he brings in another person, it's probably be another young person. Remember, it's his promo, and his whole point of taking down Roman and CM Punk is to start the new future.
Yeah, this is him focusing on being a visionary.
Yeah.
And now he's going to bring everything into fruition. And now all we can do is stay tuned and see where it goes from here. But I'd have to say this was a good Monday Night Raw, especially after WrestleMania. I mean, you had your surprises. Becky turned on Lyra. Rusev shows up.
Living Raquel won the belt.
Yeah,
back.
I mean, I felt like they kind of were gonna win them back anyways.
To me, they should have never lost in WrestleMania, period.
It was just for the pop,
yeah.
like of Becky returning and making sense. If Becky returns and loses, then, it would have been nice if she would have returned, lost, and then attack Lyra at WrestleMania.
That's how, and then that's what makes people, oh my gosh, I can't wait for Monday Night Raw for Becky to explain what's going on.
Yeah, but I guess they had to win the titles in order to get the bigger reaction of, wow, why'd you turn on her? You guys were just champions.
Right.
So it's like,
there's that option.
Yeah, but this Raw wasn't bad. I kind of felt like the time flew by a little bit, because it's like they spaced out the promos enough, and there was like surprises and things.
It was really that's what it was.
It's like it was really good pace.
Debuts. And now Monday Night Raw actually showed that there's going to be multiple storylines. You see Rhea Ripley already told Io Sky that I'm coming back for that title. So go ahead and get a couple reps in, but I'm coming back for that title.
Yeah. So we'll have to end it there. Thank you for listening. And if you are not, please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and stay tuned. We have NXT coming up tomorrow. We'll have a review on that. And like we said before, we will be going live soon. We're working on that. So stay with us. Thank you for listening to the Wrestling Bubble.